Am I asking you a question, Valerie?
Oh, I think so.
um, I'm wondering if you can share about the Hansberry project, but maybe the reason that you created it. And if you want to get in the Wayback Machine, just an idea of the background and timeline, how long you've been working um, with Hansberry.
Well, when I first arrived here in way back 1993, there were a lot of Black artists and there was a lot of energy around work by Black artists. Um, Timothy Piguet was here. Tanya Pettiford Waits was here. When I first arrived, Anthony Lee was still here. G. Val was here. There was that energy among the artists there. And the thing I noticed is that we weren't actually making work at the level of Lort theaters. So, we could be in satellite, more fringy like spaces. The group was small then.
Mhm.
And, and so I wanted to do work at a higher level. And also, I had started working at the University of Washington, and I didn't think I could be gone for a month at a time on a regular basis to direct in other places. So I needed to make a home for myself and then for other artists. And Kurt Beatty and I had a conversation when he was the artistic director of Act Theater. And he said, I can't recreate the group, but I can curate some plays. I would really love to have more Black theater at Act. Would you be interested in curating some things for us? And I said no, but that I would be interested in a more formal partnership so that I would have some influence not only in the project I was doing, but also in ACT's overall structure. And so they pledged to give us a show in the in the main stage season, uh, one show every year for 5 years. And um, and so I took them on that deal, and I invited Vivian Phillips to be my partner in it. And so the two of us formed the Hansberry Project. And it's named after Hansberry because she was both an artist, a writer, a Black writer, and she was an activist for civic and social good. And so I wanted to make a place where we would have an impact that was beyond just entertainment, but was at the highest level. And we wanted to make our work look like all the other work on the stages of Intiman and the Rep. And and at that time, so that's what we did. And we started to co-produce with various theaters around the city, bringing our audience wherever we went. After I left ACT, I wasn't really working at the Lort level, but Intiman, Kate Wariski was artistic director at the time, invited me to direct All My Sons. And I did that, and we co-partnered with Hansberry and made this big deal. And then we did Trouble in Mind with Intiman, and that was part of the beginning of the festival season for Intiman. And we had a night that was Hansberry Night, and we invited all these Black artists from the history of Black theater in Seattle to come in, and we had a Legends Award ceremony for the Robeson Theater and for Black Arts West Theater. And it was the most diverse audience at a regional theater in Seattle that I have ever seen. And it felt really good to have that group of people rubbing elbows with each other and seeing the same event. So that sort of got us, to that point. All My Sons closed the Intiman before the festival structure. So we were the last show of the old Intiman. And that day was something really special and sad. Um, and I was a part of the reopening of Intiman, which also felt good. And we've been writing together ever since.
Yeah, because I remember you even in the rehearsal process being like, who am I talking to in community, right? Like what's the radio station, what's the church, what's where are folks at who are going to really, and I think Guthrie welcomed a more diverse audience than they were used to because of those intersections that you had created as a guest artist.
Because
Um,
as I learned those things here, trying to reach, being a Black company in the one of the whitest cities in the country, required a different set of skills. And we really wanted to be working at a professional level, and having those kinds of networks and that kind of reach was really important.
So, do you want to talk about these readings that you have coming up in April and June?
Yeah, it's part of something we're calling the Drinking Gourd series. The idea that when enslaved Africans were trying to get free, they would follow the drinking gourd north to their freedom. And so we wanted very much to have some way evoke a getting free and a responsibility for our own, for making our own way. And we partnered with True Colors Theater to do, we're doing 5 readings. I think they're doing 3 or 4. And all of our playwrights are local. So at one point, I thought we might use a couple of national contacts to make something different. But I decided instead to invest our money in locally. We have a donor who's going to support the Drinking Gourd, which has been awesome. And we had an amazing fundraising year last year that gave us the opportunity to not only fund the Drinking Gourd, but it also allowed us to make artist grants in the time as people were losing work. We want to partner where we can, but we don't want to be reliant on partnerships necessarily to make sure that artists are having opportunities.
And what playwrights are you working with locally?
Uh, we did already did an in-house reading for Faith Bennett Russell. We have Ty Greenwood, who's got a piece called Dependency. Brandon Jones Mooney. I'm getting into the 3 name people now.
Come on.
Aviana Brown Rodriguez and Portia Shaw are the writers who are left. We're going to start with in-house readings, and then if we figure out our union situation, we'll be able to broadcast. But I think that all of them are going to be broadcast to the general public at some point.
How can people learn more about these readings?
They'll be able to go to the Hansberry website at www.hansberryproject.org. All the information, both to attend our readings and to make donations, is present there. If people want to give us money, we will take it.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Free money.